What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Play Legit podcast, the premier podcast for gaming and real talk. We are your hosts, Koerri, Elijah, and KJ. What's going on, man?
Man, I'm just ready for Streets of Rage Part 4, my friend.
Yes, sir. One more day before it comes out. If you guys are watching this the day it's premiered, then today is the launch day of Streets of Rage 4. And you should pick it up if you haven't already, because we have been anticipating it. And if you're like us, I'm sure you have been too. And it's the day to go pick that up and start beating them up. So I'm
It's
excited.
been 26 years.
I know you guys have waited long enough. Some of you have been waiting your entire lives, because some of you are probably younger than 26 years old. But hey, it is what it is. But it looks like it's going to be super dope. I like everything I've seen about the game so far. We've covered it a bunch here. We were talking about this briefly before we got on. Reviews are looking pretty good as well across the board. IGN is going to be IGN. Take them with a grain of salt. But from what I'm hearing, it's good. So I mean, you'll definitely be getting a review from us sometime soon. I know KJ is going to be picking that up as soon as possible. So
You better know that.
yes, sir. So expect a review on the podcast or somewhere else on the site. And speaking of the site, please make sure you check out playlegit.net, because that's our home. That's the hub. That's where you're going to find everything legit, revolving around gaming and real talk and entertainment. We do a bunch of stuff there, not only just the podcast, but we do reviews, original articles, give our opinions, do some satire pieces. We have Gremlick, the 8-bit troll, that comes in, and we have a special announcement about him at the end of the show as well. So there's a bunch of stuff at the site. So please check out playlegit.net, as well as our social media accounts, our Instagram, our Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where you're going to find the podcast most often. The YouTube channel, Play Legit Network on YouTube. Subscribe. Tell your friends. Hit us up in the comments. We'll respond to the comments. If you want us to talk about certain things or certain games you want us to cover, shoot, even if you're a developer and you want us to check out your game, hit us up. Let us know. We do all types of reviews. Anything revolves around the gaming world and the entertainment world, we definitely will dive into that. So check out playlegit.net. Hit up our social media accounts. Hit us with a follow, because there's tons of stuff you're not going to want to miss. We got a bunch of stuff going on, new shows we have in the works and things like that as well. So check us out. Hit us with a follow, hit us with a subscription, and we'll be there for you guys. So, KJ, man, there was some good news that came out. It's been the year of not just utter madness, but it's also been the year of delays. I mean, every freaking game dang near has been pushed back, at least the big titles that we've been waiting for. But we finally got some news that a lot of us have been anticipating. After the news, a lot of people have been upset about a certain title because of some certain things that were released by someone, by a disgruntled employee, I believe. But nonetheless, we've been waiting for this game for a long time. Both of these titles, we finally have a release date for The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. But we finally
You
have.
got it right.
Okay. With the when you use the foreign languages, sometimes you mess it up, but I'm glad I got it. So we're looking at, for The Last of Us Part 2, we're looking at a release date of June 19th. So we're looking at just about over a month, about a month and a half, and we'll be playing The Last of Us Part 2, and the Ghost of Tsushima will follow on July 17th. So we got some solidified release dates. They're not that far out. So, I mean, I don't think we'll be seeing them getting pushed back again. What are you thinking about the date for The Last of Us Part 2 and the Ghost of
Well,
Tsushima? Are you excited
well,
that it's not too far?
Ghost of Tsushima, I'm incredibly excited for. It looks unbelievably polished. It looks so good, and I'm so glad that they are trying a game like that in this modern age. Last of Us Part 2, I thought that the first game really put a bow on everything. So to me, this just feels more of We're just making another game because we know y'all like the first one.
Cash grab.
And I understand. I get it. I understand it's a business. And with that being said, I felt that way about God of War, but they were able to reboot that and completely change the script on it, and it was still turned out as an awesome game, and the franchise is reinvigorated and awesome. So that could be the thing for Last of Us, but just from a storytelling perspective, I really appreciated what they did in part one, and I did not see the need for a part two. And also, in addition to that, what happened to snitches get stitches? So that guy, I'm not saying it's a late now. It's a done deal. But at the same time, we got so many people that can't keep their mouth shut, and so people are now ruined. Now ruined, whether you are looking forward to Last of Us Part Two or you're not. The fact of the matter is, the powerful part of The Last of Us was its story. So I know that The Last of Us 2, whether I like the story or not, whatever, I can imagine a lot of thought was put into it. So for somebody to run out there and just spill the beans and just be an outright snitch, shame on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of torn. I'm of the ilk of spoilers don't really bother me that much because I can still appreciate things in the heat of the moment, even if I kind of relatively know what's supposed to happen until I actually see it, who knows if it's true or not, right? That was my whole thing with like Game of Thrones spoilers and all that stuff. I read into a bunch of it. Some of it was true, some of it wasn't true. But at the end of the day, I was so satisfied at the end result. So I get the whole snitches get stitches whole thing. But we also have to take into consideration now, I mean, we don't know if any of this is true. Someone could just be a complete arse and just wanted to release the information just to release the information. Or someone is actually really disgruntled by their employer, really didn't like exactly what was going on with the game, decided to say, you know what, forget it. They don't want to listen. We'll just have the community tell you how they actually feel. And some things, I mean, I'm not going to say any of the spoilers, but based off of some of the leaks that I've seen, not knowing if they're true or not, I would be, based off of the game that we're playing, I definitely would be disappointed in if some of these things actually do come to fruition. But at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. There's nothing you could do with it. It's still the gameplay of the game. It's not like a movie where, all you're doing is watching. There's still a gameplay aspect of it. So even if you don't necessarily completely like the story, as long as the game mechanics aren't completely nuked and way worse than the original, then I imagine it'll still be a fun game. I still believe there'll be missions people will still have to play and things that'll go on that you'll enjoy. But the
I don't know
overall,
what they're doing at Rockstar, but anytime they have a game that comes out, how often do you hear of plot getting spoiled or leaked?
never.
Thank you.
Not one time. And those are like super big, intricate stories, and they have like not even like side stories get leaked or anything like that. So yeah.
And that's some serious storytelling over there. But they're able, whatever they have implemented, they're able to make sure that lips are sealed.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they should call Rockstar and say, hey, what are y'all doing to stop snitching?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's with the whole Rockstar controversy about the whole hours and all of that stuff too. Like, they weren't necessarily like super happy about their employment either, and no one snitched. So yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe they're not paying enough. Yeah, that's crazy. But I think it's nuts. I don't necessarily like what was spoiled. I'm not gonna let it ruin it for me. But yeah, that's wild. That's the age we live in, though. People are just, I don't know. People are also cooped up in their houses too. So I don't know. Someone could have just been stir crazy. It was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and ruin it.
You
I'm
know
ruining
what?
The Last of Us.
I'm sick of this. He like has a cup noodles in his hand, and he's drinking a Diet Coke or whatever, and he's like, you know what?
You already know, man. Got the tips of his hair is dyed pink, bro. You already know.
Yeah.
You know the MO. Yeah, but yeah, so that was leaked, but the game comes out on June 19th. So yeah, we'll have it. We'll see it for ourselves. Yeah, a lot of people have been really anticipating this game, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, the gameplay will still be good, but I'll just say I'll keep it at this: the community seems really upset about what was leaked. So we'll see if this has anything to do with sales, anything like that, to see how it
That's
remains.
what I was going to ask you. Do you think it's going to mess up their business overall with this game?
Yeah, I mean, completely no, just because people, the diehard fans for this IP, they're still gonna get the game. I thoroughly enjoyed the first one, so I plan on picking it up. It's not one of those titles where it's like, man, I have to have The Last of Us 2, but I still plan on picking it up. There's not much out, coming out in this year even. So I mean, I finished Final Fantasy 7, like I'll get to in a little bit. I really have nothing else that I'm really anticipating. So, it's one of those games where it's like, well, I don't want to just play 2K all the time and there's not, nothing else really to play. City Skylines gets kind of boring. I started playing playing Uncharted 4, put that down after a little bit just cuz got that on PS Plus. So, I mean, I'm looking for stuff to play, so I definitely will be picking it up. But I don't know overall how it's gonna affect it. You know how people are on the internet. They cry, they, post memes, they go on, Reddit pages and say a bunch of stuff, and then they already have the game pre-ordered. So
Yeah.
they're gonna talk all this crap and then secretly play it and just not stream it so no one knows that they're playing the game. So
Like I said, I'm pretty good on playing that just because, like I said, I think the first one really put the bow on the deal.
mm,
But I think that in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that business on the game is going to be affected that much, just because of who made it. Naughty Dog to me is a company like Rockstar. When they make a game, they have an install base already. It's like, okay, Naughty Dog made this game. We don't necessarily care what's in it, whether it's Jack and Daxter or whoever it is. I just think if Naughty Dog's making the game, your head's going to turn
yeah.
and want to see what's going on with it. So
Yeah, and if all else fails, they'll just bundle the game with PS5 units or something, like they did with the first one, and make money that way. Because I'm sure they get a
yeah.
cut of the proceeds for doing that. So you know, Naughty Dog will make it work. They're still around for a reason. So yeah. So with that said, let's go ahead. Let's get into the first topic, and I'm going to get into my review of the Final Fantasy VII remake. I was going to do this last week. Didn't have the game finished. I finished the game a couple days ago. Even started into a new game plus or a continuation of my original file, where you can kind of go back through chapters and replay and do things that you couldn't get accomplished the first time with your same level and everything, which is pretty cool.
Hey, I'm going to let you know I'm listening intently, but I'm going to be eating my muffins as you do this.
All
So
right, sounds
I'm
good.
just letting you know that.
Yeah, sounds good. Muffin away, my friend. So my review for Final Fantasy VII Remake. So my wait for this game, it began E3 2015. They announced the game. So 5 years of waiting. Shed a tear, waited 5 years for the game to come. Got to a certain point, was told the game was gonna be delayed. Sucked it up, took it anyways. And sir, do I have to say, it was worth the freaking wait. Was it worth the wait? Now, it's unfortunate because, I have my ups and downs with this game. Overall, the game is a solid, solid, solid game. Definitely contender for Game of the Year. We've talked about this in previous episodes, how we feel about remastered or remade games getting nominated for Game of the Year. In my opinion, since this game is completely remade and it's kind of a retelling of the original story, I definitely feel like this game should be a contender for Game of the Year. Now, story, we all know, we all love Final Fantasy VII. Some people don't even know there's any other Final Fantasy games. Some people swear that the Final Fantasy series started with Final Fantasy VII for some freaking reason. The game is that iconic, in the class of the other games that that it's packaged with. It's in a class of its own, held up against all other video games, definitely in the top 10 video games of all time. That's just the game Final Fantasy VII. Now, with it being remade, it was phenomenal. Okay, going in from just visually going in, we'll start with the visual. Character designs, fantastic, amazing, way better than the designs in the original game that was on the original PlayStation. So of course it looks better. But from jumping from cutscenes to gameplay, you cannot tell the difference. Literally, your main characters look phenomenal. The environments, they are phenomenal. They look great. Yeah, you could be in sector 7 or wherever you may be. If you're high up, you look down, you can see everything below you. You can look up if you're on the ground, you can see the steel skies and everything. It looks great. The monsters look great. Now when it comes to NPCs, I mean, they look all right. I like how they were able to give NPCs kind of minds of their own in a way, where you run through crowds, they'll communicate with you. If you're playing as Tifa, you might get hit on or something like that, and you're a Cloud dressed up as a lady. People hit on you. People recognize you as Cloud. They're like, oh, that's the mercenary. They'll interact with you, so that's cool. But sometimes you'll be doing like a side quest. You'll be talking to an NPC. You'll be like, you look a lot worse than the character design for my main character. Now, I get it. I understand it. I'm not playing on a PS4 Pro. I'm playing on the standard PlayStation 4. So maybe if I were playing on a PS4 Pro with some upscaling, the NPCs more than likely would look a little bit better. Now, if we were playing this ported onto a PS5, the next gen consoles, I imagine they'll look even better on there. But on the standard PS4, the main characters look phenomenal. Some of the NPCs didn't look the best. Voice acting was good. Main character voice acting was spot on. Sometimes with the NPCs, some of the voice acting was kind of like, okay, that doesn't really match up. It doesn't really look the best. But, that's a minor thing. When it came to the main characters, when it came to the cutscenes, all of that stuff was fine-tuned, polished, and looked amazing. It was just some of the NPC interaction that was kind of like, oh, this could look a little bit better. But compared to the original game, looks 10 million times better. When a game came to the gameplay, now when I gave my slight review of the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo that I played, I said I'm not used to the gameplay style. It'll take a little bit, but I'm sure after a couple hours playing the game, I'll have it down and it'll be a breeze. Exactly like I thought. The gameplay mechanics, phenomenal. It takes a little bit if you're not used to that style, but once you get used to the style, you really like the freedom that you have. I like how you can switch between each character after their AP gauge was filled to go and have them cast spells if you need them to cast spells, do special attacks, summons, whatever it may be. The fluidity between switching between characters was nice. If you get into a bind, you're like, man, I need to go in the long range. I can switch right from Cloud into Barrett, hit him with some long range, switch back to Cloud, have him cast magic, switch over to Tifa, do some beating them ups, switch to Aerith. If I had her in the party, do some great healing, whatever it may be. Just the fluidity of the fighting system, I really, really enjoy it. The turn-based system definitely was a dated system. Not that I didn't like it, but with just the capabilities that we have, the fluidity that we have with the consoles, the frame rates that we can produce with these things, it's so much better just to be able to freely roam and attack, dodge, cast spells. I really, 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 really thoroughly enjoyed the fight mechanics of this game, especially when it came to mix and matching with the materia, which is great. I wanted to see how they were going to do it almost exactly how it was originally, where you can blend certain materials, level up your materia, switch your materia between different people, but still retain that level. on the materia, unlike some other RPG games where each character has their set magic level. You could just swap a higher level materia to a character without having them to have to go through the whole grind of leveling up the materia themselves. So it was cool whenever I was in a situation, whenever I needed to maybe switch someone's equipment or someone fell out of the party, I could still take equipment from them, add it to someone that was currently in my party. So it made it easier to level up my materia, and it kind of gave you a way to strategize, and you can kind of like pick people's strengths, what materia should go on which person. It really thoroughly is enjoying just going through, being able to swap out different things, equipping people with the proper weaponry as well. Being able to level up your weapons as well as your materia was very cool. You can kind of do it in a way where you get different attribute boosts based off of the weapons that you have. Your weapons level up over time, and you could pick different attributes to add to that weaponry, which would give it boosts in its attack power, its defense, or its magic abilities, which was really cool as well because you could then switch between your different slots of weapons, which would have different amounts of slots for materia and things like that as well, which was really cool. So that was super awesome. The gameplay super awesome. Just going through the fighting system, the mechanics of healing and equipping items and changing items and things like that was super cool. When it came to the strength of the characters, I played my original walkthrough on normal mode, which was like the highest difficulty on the original setting. Now I can go into hard mode, which doesn't allow you to use items. You could only heal and things like that. Um, so based off of difficulty, it took a couple hours before I got into a bind. But when I got into a bind, I got into a bind. Now, sometimes like if you get into a boss that you can't beat, sometimes it takes a couple times to get through it. Sometimes you got to go back, you got to swap materia, you got to use different tactics, you got to figure out what they're weak against, use materia to assess them if you have the assess materia, whatever it may be. But there was lots of times in this game where I got stuck. Like the reason I didn't do the review last week because I got stuck at a part towards the end of the game where it wasn't even a boss. It was literally just like a pack of dogs that I got stuck on and I could not beat until I took a little break, came back, re-strategized, came in, and plowed right through it. So there's a lot of times like that in the game. It wasn't just like a breeze where I'm walking through it. There were some bosses, especially the last couple bosses, that I had to refight multiple times. It definitely was a grind. There was definitely a lot of side quests, things like that you could do, or you could choose not to do. There's definitely a lot to do in the game. I think it took me about 45 hours overall, and that's with me taking some time to do some training in some places and stuff like that too, to get the complete game done. So gameplay, phenomenal. Voice acting, very, very good. NPCs could be a little bit better with the voice acting and the character design and visually. But gameplay wise, story wise, the adaptation, what they were able to get from 8 hours of the original game to have me play 45, almost 50 hours of an 8 hours worth of time in the original game, it blows my mind. I don't know how many of these games they're going to have to make to actually complete the entire game. But overall, I thought the game was phenomenal, really good. Some departments could have been slightly better. In my opinion, I wish the game was longer, but I understand why they ended it where they did. As soon as I finished the game, I was like, man, I wish they were releasing the other part in 6 weeks or something like that, so I could get to it. I don't know how long it's going to be until we get the next installment of this game, but I am anticipating it. I'm literally sweating for the next part of this game. It was like a taste of crack cocaine, and I'm hooked. I need more. I need more. I need more. I need more. This game is great. I'm saying game of the year. Koerri is going to give this game a 4.5 MFs out of 5. Final Fantasy VII Remake, though it is not perfect, though there are some things that I would change. Overall, the time that they took, the effort that they put in, and the slight changes that they made to the story were to done to do it justice, and I think that's exactly what they did. Story-wise, it was great. All the cutscenes, they just drew you in. They just had you led you asking for more. At the end of the game, like I said, it's just like I need more, I need more, I need more. 4.5 MFs out of 5. Final Fantasy VII Remake, potentially game of the year. I'm loving it. I'm not just biased. If I had never played the game before, I would still love this game just as much. It's that great. If you haven't played it, you need to play it. You need to play it. That's my review.
That just goes to show you, sorry, nostalgia people, that old style of playing is over with. And you can check the sales of this game, and those people that were complaining are the same people that have bought the game too. That old style of play is out the door.
Mm-hmm.
The door is now open for this new style of play that a lot of people appreciate. And I guarantee you, a lot of people that were complaining that they got rid of the old style are the same people that are enjoying it right now and waiting and itching for the next chapter in that. Right. That's just what it is. Times change. That style is over.
Yeah, and I mean, and if you really break it down, it literally is. It's the same thing, except you can attack while you're waiting for your AP gauge to fill, right? So the original one is you wait for your gauge to fill, then you could attack, or you could cast magic, or you could use an item. Now, if you want to use a special attack or cast magic or use an item, you have to wait for the AP gauge to fill, but you're not just sitting there not doing anything. You can run around, you can dodge, you can attack. So it actually is occupying your time while you wait to actually pull off a move. So it's similar, but it's just fine-tuned, it's refined. It's an upgraded version of that original turn-based system that you know and love. Everybody has an AP gauge. The AP gauge is gonna fill at a certain amount of time, just like it did originally with your full cast of characters. But you can still attack while you're waiting for the gauge to fill up and move around and dodge and not get attacked. So
it's 2020, y'all.
Exactly. Not 1987 or 1997. It's over with. But yeah, great game. Great game.
He said 1987.
Yeah, I just literally my mind went back to like Final Fantasy
1.
Yeah. I was going to say Final Fantasy 3, but I think that was like a 91, 92 release. So, yeah, but great game. Like I said, if you haven't played it, anybody out there, check it out. It's dope. It's up there. People were anticipating the game for a reason. They were anticipating the game for a reason. All right. So now that we got that taken care of, the games must go on, and they must go online. So let's get into this article, okay? So we have an article here about eSports gaming online amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. It's an article from The Ringer. And they're basically saying that, sports leagues across the world have suspended or delayed their seasons in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. But one competition is uniquely suited for our current reality, esports. The question is whether Americans will turn to them in the absence of traditional sports. So, like we know, we've seen it all happen. The NBA is still shut down. The NFL draft just happened, but it was all done digitally. Literally, all the movie theaters are closed. There's no baseball. There's no soccer. I don't think anybody was watching soccer, anyways. The UFC, they were trying to pull off a blood sport thing, but I don't think that worked out with them getting a private island. So that's not working out. WNBA is off right now anyways because it's not the summertime, but it's looking like their whole thing might be messed up. So people are saying like, hey, like with all of this absence in sports, people, they need something to do. And since they can't since we can't be around each other, really, like, esports is really the thing to do. And basically the question they're posing is, do you feel like esports will be able to fill the gap with everything that's going on, not having the NBA. The NBA, for example, they teamed up with 2K. Actually, it might have just been 2K and NBA players that teamed up together, but they had like a tournament where they had NBA players playing a tournament on 2K just to kind of have like content out there.
MLB was doing it also, yeah.
So, what do you think is the end result here?
I don't think we're there yet. I think in the future we'll be there,
Hmm.
but I think that we're still not there with the technology. So I'm saying the graphics and everything, I don't think that the games look real enough that will garner interest from people that are outside of the hardcore fan base. That would be in, because right now that's the people that you're getting. But I
Hmm.
just couldn't see Todd and Jill just randomly tune in. Oh, hey, honey, let's check out this latest esports. Yeah, I'm not seeing it right now. Are you visualizing that either?
I mean, casuals, no, I don't. Now, like, as demographics change, because demographics are shifting drastically, as our generation kind of gets a little bit older, we're in our 30s, so like we're in the generation. Basically, we're taking the helm in the next couple years here, and the generation right behind us, I mean, they've grown up like completely in this world. Like remember we remember outside. I'll leave it like that. We remember the outside days. We remember the days of knocking on the doors of your friends, those days. The generation behind us, they don't know those days. This generation knows video games, like when you look at the demographics, even when it comes to like genders and things like that. Like when it comes to women, there's way more women into gaming that are younger than our generation or the generation before our generation. There's some in our generation. Not saying that there's none. There's a large group, but when it comes to the younger generation, there's tons more. It just seems like gaming seems to be kind of like their natural thing, like esports has been a thing basically their entire lives. There's been some form of esports, uh our lives, I'd say maybe half of our lives, there's been maybe not even half of our lives, like a good maybe a third of our lives, there's been some form of e-sport type of thing. There's always been like big gaming. I guess you could say half of our lives, because like there's been competitive Halo and Smash Bros tournaments and all that stuff for since we were teenagers or whatever too. But it's it was a lot smaller when we were younger. Now they've grown up basically in the age where it's been on ESPN, it's been on CBS. Like people have been making big
But
pots.
the thing is, so I'm with you on that, but I'd like to know the ratings from those. That's what I'm talking. I'm talking about the revenue that they can bring in from putting on stuff like that. Currently, I'm not seeing it right now in
Mhm.
terms of like the big money. Now, that's not to say down. I put it to you like this: Ninja, we know Ninja, right? We know who he is. But
Mhm.
if Ninja walks into Kroger, are there going to be a lot of people who are like, "Oh, that's Ninja"?
Nah, not if we go into Kroger. But if we go into a Target, that might be different.
Yeah, it might be something. But that's the thing. I think that we might get to a point where there are people who are Jordan branded even to play East. I mean, maybe that's happening right now.
I
Maybe
mean,
I'm wrong, but
ninjas on Adidas.
oh, so but the thing is, hey, so you got me on that.
Yeah,
Hey,
like
maybe you changed my mind right now
literally,
on the
it
spot.
literally is like it literally is at like people have sponsorships. They're not just getting like Logitech, MSI sponsorships, things like that. They're not just getting Nvidia sponsorships. They're getting sponsored. Ninja's getting sponsored by Red Bull, like he's a regular, regular athlete, although they do like extreme sports. They basically will sponsor anybody that has a following, I guess. It looks
Their
like a big
Facebook
following.
page is so awesome too. I don't know if you follow uh, Red Bull's Facebook page, but they are always posting extreme videos of people just doing just awesome stuff, man. I don't know if you, I don't follow a lot of Facebook pages, but that's one I definitely recommend.
Yeah, I see a lot of their stuff, like the dude that skydived from like the atmosphere and all that stuff. Like, yeah, they
People
do.
breakdancing and parkour, all kind. I'm like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, they're involved. Like I said, Adidas is involved with Ninja. Like we're like right at the cusp where we're at, like things are completely like changing over completely. We're living in the age of the influencer, and gaming is one of those things that is like heavy in the influence game. So I mean, people are getting them sponsorships, I'm sure, pretty soon. I mean, I'm sure people are getting sponsored by snacks and stuff like that too. It'll just be a matter of time before they start making, like, I don't know, a shoe brand for gaming, which I don't know why they would do it, but who knows? Something will happen. They already make chairs, they make controllers. I mean, I'm trying to think of it from like a skateboarder perspective, how like the skateboarding industry kind of like commercialized in the same way. Maybe, I mean, Phase is like a thing. They sell clothes, they do clothes collaborations, stuff like that. So it's like it's an industry now. It's an industry. It's only going to get bigger
Oh,
because
no,
more and
no
more
doubt
people are
about it.
making
But
them.
I was
So
just,
when and it's like the ratings thing too is a tough question too, because it's like people don't really watch traditional television. Like, people aren't really watching live television. So when it comes to like the ratings, do you do live? Do you base it off how many streams you're getting? Things like that. So, and then, I mean, the events, we already see the events are packed. So, Evo is packed. When Evo happens, Evo is packed. The streams are lit and the arena is packed. So, and I mean, when they do the reveals, like last year, I think was it last year or the year before, they revealed like the skins for Injustice 2 for the Ninja Turtles, and everybody went crazy at Evo. Like, it's a thing. Like, honestly, these arenas are packed just as much as NBA arenas, football arenas, stuff like that.
come on, man, come on now.
So I mean, it is. So I mean, it's like, who's saying it? I mean, they're asking, is it the shift now? I'm going to make the argument. I'll make the argument saying the shift has already happened. The shift has already happened. And that's where I stand. The shift has happened already. It's only
And
going
I'm
to,
saying we
it's
ain't
only,
there yet.
and all I'm saying is it's not going to go down. It's only going up from here. And if a 13-year-old kid, what did he win? Like $1 million, or was it $3 million or something for
Who?
Fortnite? That kid that was like 13 or something.
Who?
It was $1 million last year, like 9 months ago.
That's what I'm asking you. Who is he?
I forget his name. It doesn't even matter. That's the
That's
thing.
what. But that's what I'm trying to say, man.
It
We
doesn't.
ain't there yet.
It doesn't matter what his name is. I don't need to know. I'm old compared to him.
It doesn't matter
I'm
what
like
his
twice.
name.
I'm like twice his age. I'm sure there's at least 60,000 kids that could tell us what his name is right now. I'm not in his demographic. I know who Ninja is. Ninja's closer to my demographic, and I know Ninja. So I mean, and there's other streamers as well that we could mention as well. But Ninja's like he's up there. So, but at the end of the day, I mean, if there's money and kids are saying kids win millions of dollars, it's only going to make it bigger. People go to where the money is. Lots of people play basketball because they think it's an easy way to become a millionaire. Although playing basketball is not easy, it's probably easier than becoming a football player. So people see you getting checks playing video games, it's only going to help the industry. I was at C2E2. There was a college there promoting gaming and eSports. So It's in colleges. They're packing out arenas. They're giving teenagers millions of dollars. It's only going up from here. If Gatorade is watching teenagers make millions of dollars, Gatorade's getting involved. You already know. You need to read how you need electrolytes to play these games. So yeah. So me and KJ aren't on the same page with this, but you know, it's gonna be like that sometimes. We'll see. We'll see how things go. We'll see how things go in the future, right? We'll play it by ear.
Holla at me when them kids are wearing Jordans and I know who they are.
These kids are already wearing Jordans, bro. These kids are hype beasts, wearing Jordans and Supremes with freaking Louis bags, playing Fortnite on their iPhone 11 Pros that their parents bought them. Man, they're out here.
Can FUBU, is FUBU still a thing? Can they sponsor somebody? I would just like to see an esports guy sponsored by FUBU.
Hey, let's get it. Let's get it. I want to see it too. Honestly, if I want to see anybody sponsored by FUBU, it's Hip Hop Gamer. That's just my personal opinion.
There we go.
Yeah, Hip Hop Gamer is definitely sponsored by FUBU and freaking Logitech right now.
Shout out to my man.
You already know. So KJ, you ready, man? Because I think it's time for you to get in that hot seat.
All right, man. Hold on. All right, I'm here. I'm in there.
You ready?
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a segment that we have created. Last week I was in it. This week KJ's in it. It is the Mission 3 hot seat. 3 questions, rapid fire. You have to answer them the best of your ability. No hesitation. You have no prior knowledge to what these questions are going to be. I did not inform you. That's why it's called the hot seat. Now, you have to answer these truthfully. It may not be easy. And to the best of your ability, with one of these, I'm going to need you to get the right answer. So, KJ, are you ready for the Mission 3 hot seat?
Let's do it.
All right. KJ, question number 1. First-person shooter or fighter, and why?
A fighter, because to me, it takes a lot more skill to be great at a fighting game. You could talk to Daigo and just seeing some of the stuff he's pulled off. If you've ever seen that comeback win that he did playing Street Fighter 3, that's one of the most iconic clips that I've ever seen in any kind of gaming competition. So to me, it takes a lot more skill to be good at a fighting game. Anybody can pick up a controller and play a first-person shooter.
Anybody?
Just about. Now, that depends on your skill level. Now, of course, that's going to vary because obviously we have eSports. But I see a lot of people that can get a decent amount of kills, but you could see somebody playing a fighting game and their record is almost perfect. I'm sure you've run into people like that when you've played Street Fighter or Tekken Online. That's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you because it's you and that one other person, unless you're playing like Smash Bros. But usually it's a 1-up fight, 1v1. You're not getting sniped from behind. It's just you see what's going on. You have to predict their moves. It's not like you're gonna run into a trap or get grenaded or anything like that, or last stand shot or something like that. So yeah, I'll agree with that. Nice. All right, so answer number 1, fighter. Number 2. So are you familiar with the game F, Marry, Kill?
Yeah.
All right, well, I have a gaming version called Pre-Order After Launch or On the Shelf. Leave it on the shelf. So you have to, between the 3, you have to pre-order one, pick one up after launch, and leave one on the shelf forever, okay? Your titles are The Last of Us 2, Cyberpunk 2077, and Marvel's Avengers. All set to release this year. You have to pre-order one. get one after launch, and leave one on the shelf?
We're leaving Avengers on the shelf.
Whoa!
It just does not look up to snuff. Even the most recent videos, it's just not looking up to snuff. I really think it's going to let people down. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
Gameplay does not look polished.
Miss Marvel's not luring you in, bro?
Man. No.
All right, so you're going to leave Marvel's Avengers on the shelf, okay? Now you got to pre-order one and pick one up after launch.
Well, so Last of Us 2, and then what's the other one?
Cyberpunk 2077.
The Cyberpunk I'd like to pick up. It seems like they're trying a lot of really cool things with the story. And then pre-order The Last of Us 2.
So you're going to pre-order Last of Us 2. You'll pick up Cyberpunk 2077 after launch, and then you're going to leave Marvel's Avengers on the shelf.
There it is.
Ooh, that's not how I thought it was going to go. Okay, cool. And for the last one, question number 3 of the Mission 3 hot seat. You ready?
I'm ready, man.
All right, this should be easy. Multiple choice, okay?
And currently, too, let me throw this in. I've seen what the box art's supposed to look like for Marvel's Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You should look that up sometime. That box art is not good at all. They need to fix that. They really need to tighten up on that. I really want that to change before it comes out. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
It's not about to, but
Dang it.
Just another reason to leave it on the shelf. So the voice. All right. So last question here. Multiple choice. Okay. You've played Super Mario Brothers, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. I figured. So the voice of Mario is A. Steve Bloom.
Nope.
B. Roger Craig Smith. C. Rob Paulson, or D. Charles Marinette?
D. Charles Marinette.
Woo! Got you. Nice. Okay, well, you got it, man. You successfully made it through the Mission 3 hot seat. You made it through question either or pre-order after launch, or leave on the shelf, and or multiple choice. Good job, KJ. You made it through the Mission 3 hot seat. How was that?
I feel great.
Nice. Yeah, I tried to switch up the format a little bit from last week just to kind of keep you on your toes as well. But I like this Mission 3 hot seat. We'll definitely be doing more of these. So if you guys like this, comment down below questions that you would like to see in the Mission 3 hot seat, and we definitely will execute those for you in the future. So KJ.
Great choices, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, man. We're gonna keep these fresh for you guys. It's a segment that I'm really starting to enjoy. So yeah, you'll be seeing more of the Mission 3 hot seat on the Play Legit podcast here, guys. Don't worry about it. So for the final, before actually we get into the final segment here, did you have any deals for the week at all?
No.
No deals? Okay. Now, from what I saw, all of the deals that have been going on have been expanded. There is a deal on the PlayStation Store where I saw that you could get, I almost bought it, Shinobi Strikers for like $9 right now on the PlayStation Store. So I was thinking about maybe picking that up because it's only $9. I know you said that it was hot trash. I kind of want to see for myself. It's only $9.
Well, the servers were.
Oh, okay. All right. The servers were hot trash. All right. Well, I'll just keep it offline then. It was only $9. I'm like, man. But the deluxe edition is $20. And I was like, maybe I'll. I don't know. I still haven't gotten it. I may not even get it. But I definitely, it crossed my mind. But yeah, that was the only kind of like deal that I saw. Everything else was like the same deals that have been going on. So you guys haven't been missing anything on the deal section, really. But when we have new deals, we'll definitely keep you guys informed and up to date about those. So let's go ahead. Let's get into this last topic here. If you're all set, KJ.
Absolutely.
All right. So this is something you brought to my attention. I did a little bit of research on it. It's been a hot topic. I actually was watching an interview with the I believe the CEO or the founder of the company of Intellivision, and this is on the Intellivision Amico. Tommy Tallarico was talking to
Amico.
Tomiko. I saw him being interviewed by dang, what's the YouTube channel?
Yeah,
Review Tech.
the console's name is Amico.
Yeah, yep, by Intellivision. So Intellivision is making the Amico, which is like a it's a new console, which at first I was like, I don't really know how I feel about this, and then I started looking into it more, and it actually looks like it's pretty cool. It's gonna have like an original Earthworm Jim game there, as well as a bunch of other stuff. It's supposed to be like a hub for indie developers, a place for them to go to get some support and have them help them develop their games and put it on a platform that's kind of new, innovative, and kind of inexpensive too. Because it's launching at only $250. What are your thoughts on the Intellivision Amico?
I think that because there have been other indie systems in the past that have tried, like we know of Ouya. If you remember Ouya, that didn't work out, but they were trying something similar. But I think that the television Amico, what they have here, I think you've got yourself something. First off, the Intellivision name brand that's going to generate a little bit of buzz. Just that name, just mentioning the Intellivision, people probably before our generation, Koerri, because I didn't have one growing up, but people would be like, "Oh, the television is back." And what they did too is they obviously modernized the system, but it does retain a little bit of that look with the controllers as well, retaining that feel of the Intellivision. But it also has the new stuff that we expect. So it has tilt control. I think it has that. It has touch screen. It has little things like that that would bring in a casual gamer, and that's what it looks like they're really trying to focus in on, is the casual gamer with this, which is much bigger of an audience than the hardcore. I hate to say it, but that's true. And with the games that they're offering, that's going to bring those type of people in. They're basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get a hold of the people who are playing mobile games on their Apple Arcade and stuff like that. They're trying to bring that audience to the Amico. And I think that if they have strong IPs, the fact that they're even getting exclusives surprised me. I thought that like Earthworm Jim, for a lot of people, that's pretty awesome. Earthworm Jim was a big deal growing up. So now that's not going to be enough, but if they continue in that vein and continue to get games that you can only get on there, and the system is budget priced like that, and it's easy to jump in and play, and they said that the games are all going to be very inexpensive. And another thing to point out too, that they're not going to have any mature games at all on the system. In its entire life cycle, they're not going to have mature games. So they are really trying hard for that casual crowd. And I think the fact that they are simplifying it so much, but still offering pretty cool experiences, I think that look out. That's what I got to say. Look out.
Yeah. I mean, right now I'm on their website. Pre-orders are closed because they've filled their pre-orders that they were trying to obtain. So I mean, people are actually looking into this. People actually seem to really want this. What it comes with, what's included, every Amico system comes with 2 wireless controllers and 6 fun-filled games. See the packing announcement. There's a video. I'm not gonna play that.
Yeah, see, and it comes with games too.
Yeah, it comes with 6 games. It comes with skiing, Shark, Astro Smash, Cornhole, Farkle, and something else is gonna be on there as well. Maybe Earthworm Jim. Hopefully Earthworm Jim, right? But yeah.
No, you're gonna have to pay for that one. They ain't gonna put that in for free.
Yeah. Yeah, true that. And it comes in Glacier White, Graphic Black, or a Vintage Wood Grain. So yeah, I mean,
Which color would you grab?
I'd probably, hmm, I'd probably end up getting that glacier white, honestly, or maybe the wood grain. The black doesn't look bad either. The vintage wood grain is a little bit more expensive though. The glacier white and the graphite black are $250. The vintage wood grain is $280, so $30 more.
I think I saw a gold one too, with all the orders for that have been filled.
Yeah, I think that was a pre-order.
Yeah.
Pre-order one, you get a
The
gold
VIP,
one,
I think.
which is pretty cool, but too late for that. We won't be seeing that. We'll be seeing that on eBay, taxed probably if you want that one. Yeah, but I mean, it does seem like its biggest competition is going to be the Switch, in my opinion. And the Switch has been really, really, really going hard when it comes to those indie titles. So, I mean, we'll see. Like Earthworm Jim is a big one, but I'm going to have to see some more prominent indie games go to that console before I, feel like it's going to be a success, right? Now, of course, the gaming industry is huge. There's tons and tons of collectors when it comes to gaming. So I'm sure people are picking up this console because for one, they're collectors. For two, it's not that expensive. It seems intriguing. It looks like it's going to be fun. Is this going to be the thing that is going to say cut into the sales of the Switch? Is this really going to cut into the majors market? I don't think so. When it comes to say even Xbox or PlayStation, I don't think this is really gonna cut into their margins at all. If anyone, I see it really cutting into the Switch's margins. But even then, with the Switch being so much more mobile, being able to pick it up and go, I really don't know. Like I get what they're trying to do. Is it going to be like for what the company, how big the company is, and for what they're doing, it seems successful on a major scale? Is it going to be a massive success? Is it going to be, something that kind of changes the industry? Do I think so? No, I personally don't think so. It looks cool. It looks like it's gonna have something to, have some stuff to bring to the table. It's gonna have games that are gonna be fun. Of course, it's a gaming console at the end of the day. But do I think it's gonna be that thing that kind of shifts everything? I don't see it yet. They're gonna have to get some more indie developers on their team, to bring some more titles, some heavy hitting indie titles, over to this thing before I really feel like it's gonna be something that's gonna like make a major splash. Cool to see that it's achieved the pre-orders that it's looking for. Cool to see all of the stuff that they're doing with it, limited edition colorways, things like that. That's super cool. I'm definitely I'm not opposed to the system at all. As of right now, is this something that I'm like, if I had $250 to spend right now, would I go buy this console, or would I just buy a bunch of games for the console that I have right now, or save that 250 towards one of the next gen consoles? Right now, I'd probably save the money. Say this time next year, after next gen consoles are released, there's not many titles out, things like that. Then maybe I'd be looking at this a little bit more. Um, but as of right now, I'm really anticipating those next gen consoles, and 250 is looking like it might be half the cost of one of those next gen consoles. So, I mean, I might hold on to the 250 now, but sometime down the line, if I come up on some extra money, or if the government decides to stimulate my pockets a little bit more, I have some extra cash to just spend on something, then I might pick one up.
So I think what they're doing here too is they're not necessarily trying to be direct competition. I think they're aware of the big dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they're just trying to be like, hey, we're over here too, so you can still get your big systems, but you can also go ahead and put this in your pocket too.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I think that's the approach. I hear what you're saying, but I think that they're also aware of that too. But they're still hoping that when you're at the checkout, that you also, put that Intellivision in there too, in that cart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'm gonna need to see a lot more from them. Not saying that they're not doing rounds. Like I said, I saw that they did an interview on Review Tech. That's a fairly large channel, but I'm gonna have to see some stuff. I think IGN did an article on them as well, but I kind of want to see some more. I know it's a small company; they don't really have funds to kind of put advertisement and stuff like that out there. But maybe send some test consoles out to people, get some people playing these things, so we can kind of see some gameplay from some influencers or something like that, just so we can kind of get more of a grasp on it. But I feel like when it comes down to just marketing wise, like, hey, it's cool. I just personally don't feel like enough people know about it to be able to make that decision. Like, hey, I understand what they're trying to do. I know they're not really trying to compete with the heavy hitters, but even with them not trying to compete with them, it almost is like people have to know what you're doing, though. It's like, yeah, you want people to pick it up, but you're gonna have to kind of like give us a reason why. You can't just be, hey, we're doing something different. Like I said, I could play indie titles on my Switch.
Well, and so here's the thing that I think would help separate them. I think they're doing all right with the system price. Maybe you could probably take $50 off of that console price that they have going. But
Mhm.
overall, I don't think it's that bad of a price tag. What I would do if I were Intellivision is I absolutely get indie games, but what would separate them from Nintendo, if you notice, they'll get any indie games. They don't care. I mean,
Mhm.
I have seen the bottom of the garbage indie games that they just sell in the eShop. So if I'm in television, what I'm doing is I'm going to make sure that my lineup of indie games are of absolute high quality, so that they are known that, hey, when I get in television, I know that the indie games that I'm going to buy are going to be great. And so that's what I would do. I would make sure my library is filled with quality indie games, and go out of your way to secure more exclusives like the Earthworm Jim. That's a good start, Earthworm Jim. That got my eyes open. But what else do you have? Like Koerri said, we need to see more. And I appreciate the efforts to basically come out of nowhere with an Intellivision. That's pretty dope. That they just, who saw that coming in 2020 in new Intellivision.
Right.
So I appreciate the effort. So let's get more of that, more exclusives, some solid indies, build that reputation, knowing that this is a home, this is going to be a hub for quality indie gaming.
Mhm. Yeah, and just to kind of bring it back just a tad bit before we end this out here, you mentioned, for example, like competing with even like the Apple Arcade, right? You're looking at
Yeah.
a company that also is looking for exclusives, right? But we're looking at a company that is worth $1 trillion, that has a whole division just dedicated to the Apple Arcade, getting newer titles, exclusively on the Apple Arcade. So I honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't even say that the Intellivision is competing with the Switch. The Intellivision is really competing with mobile gaming
You
and
got it.
and um and TV gaming, these playback device gamings, like my Apple TV costs, what I pay, $180 for my Apple TV, $5 a month for Apple Arcade. And there's a vast library of indie games on that. So if we're looking at price wise, I mean, yeah, I have to pay $5 a month for the Apple Arcade. But then I can also stream a bunch of other stuff from it in 4K as well. I have my entire library of movies and everything on there, YouTube, all that extra stuff too, that I can do from that device. Now with this Intellivision, what can I do with this as well? Yes, it comes with 6 games. Yes, it has a library. I imagine that there's going to be a lot of digital stuff as well, where the store will be online. Um, is there going to
Yeah,
be
they mentioned the controller is going to have like the rumble and tilt
right?
and stuff like that. And they also said when you plan on playing with more people, that they can just hook up their phones too, which I thought was a pretty cool addition.
Mm. Nice. So I kind of feel like it's more competing with the Apple Arcade than anything. So let's see. Let's see. You know, this is buying hardware. Yes, for the Apple Arcade, you have to have Apple hardware. But you could literally use your Mac computer, you could use your phone, you could use your iPad, you could use your Apple TV to do all of that, and it's all based together. Um, so like I said, it's one of those things where we'll have to see how this works out, how it all pans out. Me personally, this is just my personal opinion, and when it comes to it being intuitive, right now I would lean more towards the Apple Arcade just because I could take it on the go with me. I could play it on so many different platforms, on my TV, on my computer, on my iPad on the go, or on my phone on the go, and it all be synced together. The Intellivision, it's we'll have to see. I'm not trying to crap on the
It's got
Intellivision.
you thinking, though. That's what we can say.
Exactly. It has me thinking, like, is it really going to be worth it? Should I invest more in this thing that's kind of more accessible for me? I could do it on the go. I could just pick it up on my phone or pick it up on my television, or but I am a console gamer as well. Do I want that console for it? But do I want to pay that money for an indie game? For an indie title, for an indie console. It's one of those things. We'll have to see more from it. It does have me thinking. I am intrigued. It does look cool. I'll just have to see a little bit more before I can make that final decision if I'm going to pull the trigger and pick one of those things up. It does look cool. I like what they can do. I like that they're even coming out with this just to kind of keep everybody on their toes, keep gaming robust, just letting them know, like, hey, if you're a developer, you can make a game, you can make a console. We all know how we know how computers work. Anybody can really get into the game if they have the proper knowledge and the proper funding behind them to do so. So it keeps all of the majors on their toes. It keeps the majors on their toes, keeps the indie developers on their toes. I really like it. I think it's good for the culture. I think it's good for the industry. I'm glad to see this happening. Sega, you need to come back with a console now too. You can do it. Bring back Dreamcast 2 or something. Let's see it. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it, but am I like super excited? Am I going to go drop that 250 as of right now? I can't say that I will, but I like to see, I like to see what they're doing. I want to see them do more. I want them to keep going. I will support them. And as soon as I get something that really catches my eye, hey, maybe that Earthworm Jim will be so dope. I'll go pick up an Intellivision until I can kind of see more, get some reviews going. I'm still kind of in the dark. So that's just my opinion. So it's a no for me, KJ. It's a yes for you.
Oh, I just would like to see. I mean, I don't know if that's a cop-out answer or not, but I'd like to see more what they got going on. I think it's a little too early to form a completely opinion on it. But I'd like to see. I'll wait and see on it.
Right.
But I appreciate the effort and I appreciate the the effort that they're putting forth, and just keep pushing, keep hustling, and we'll see.
That's right. Yeah, and I mean, hey, we're here to support gaming all the way. We are not made of money though, so I'm not going to be like, hey, I'm just going to buy this console when I could buy food, or something like that, unless I really, really, really want that console. You're going to have to really make me, want that thing. We're in a freaking pandemic right now. People can't just be spending $250 for indie games unless they're on point. So, the world has shifted in the past couple of months. 3 months ago, we could be frivolous. Now we can't be as frivolous. So people are adjusting. You have to adjust with the people. Show us what you got in television. We know you can do good things. We're waiting for you. So that's all I got on that. I think this was good. It was a good show so far, man. Good show. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. You put me in that hot seat, but that's okay. We made it.
Yeah, we got through it. And there will be more of the Mission 3 hot seat. Please believe. But next week we got something special for you. There won't be a Mission 3 hot seat next week, but we will be presenting you a new segment. This is what we're kind of doing. We're trying some stuff out here on the Play Legit podcast. Let us know how you guys feel about all the stuff that we're trying out. The Mission 3 hot seat is a success in our opinion, so we'll keep going with that. But next week we're going to be trying something new. we're going to be doing something involving the 8-bit troll himself, Gremlick. Gremlick presents Make It Grumpy. So this is going to be a segment where we're gonna have to take a beloved property and make you hate it. So we'll see how that goes next week. Gremlick presents Make It Grumpy here on the Play Legit podcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. You guys are awesome. You make this stuff happen. Please, please, please check out playlegit.net again. That's where you're going to find everything legit revolves around gaming and real talk. That's the hub. That's the home. That's where you're going to find the podcast, reviews, 8-bit trolls, a bunch of original content. It's a dope site. You don't want to miss out. Also, hit us up on social media at Play Legit on Instagram, on Twitter. You can hit me up at Koerri Elijah on across the board anywhere. You can just type that in KOERRI and you'll find me. It's super easy. Only one in the world. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Play Legit Network on YouTube. That's where you're going to find the show. It's so amazing. We love you guys. Comment in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button.
Hit that button.
Hit the button, guys. Eventually, we might even come up with some format where you can join as well. You know, we're still working out some kinks, but we'll figure that out as well somewhere down the line where you can kind of help support the show as well by joining. A bunch of things in the works here. We're working on it for you guys. The pandemic has a bunch of stuff crazy right now, especially with jobs and stuff like that. But throughout the year, you know, just keep on rocking with us. We're going to be rolling out a bunch of cool stuff for you guys. Like we said, we got new segments coming on, new shows and things that we're working on in the background as well. So stay tuned, stay legit, subscribe to the channel, hit up the website, stay tuned, tune into the podcast every week. You can find it on YouTube on every Thursday, premiered, and within like the first 30 minutes of the premiere as well. If you comment, I'm always in the chat. So just comment something if you want to holler at me in the chat live whenever you get the link, the notification on Thursday. Usually it's around 2:00 we post. Be in the chat. I'll be there hollering at you guys. Hit me up. Let me know what you guys think of the show. Any ideas you guys might have. I'm always here to talk to you guys. So anything you got before we get out of here, KJ?
Nah, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Well, guys, it's been nice. It was a great talk with you guys tonight. Any questions that you might have for the Mission 3 hot seat, send them to me or send them to KJ if you want them to be shot at me and you don't want me to know about them. But until next time, guys, save up some money for that Intellivision. 250 bones is a lot of money during a pandemic, and you want to play that Earthworm Jim. So make sure you save up them coins. And until next time, guys, stay legit.
Peace.